For the day is on the topic AI-powered automation, the game changer for accounts payable. And for this, I would like to invite on stage Mr. Animesh Samuel, who is the CEO and co-founder at E42. Giving a brief introduction, Animesh brings to the table more than 23 plus years of experience in technology, focusing on product and marketing. Driven by a passion for solving enterprise problems with AI, he likes to talk about the range of opportunities presented by solutions built using intelligent automation, natural language processing, and machine learning. His functional domain knowledge in cutting edge AI has covered by leading media publications including the Times of India, Analytics Insights, etc. With this, let's welcome Animesh with a big round of applause.
Thank you, everyone. Can you hear me? Is the mic on? Perfect. So first disclaimer, I'm not a finance guy, right? So as you can see, and I'm not going to, and I think most of the part which I thought I should talk about already, I think Vidya ma'am has covered quite a bit. She spoke a lot of technology. Let's give her a big round of applause. And another thing I want to add, what do we know 3M for? By the way, when I'm meeting a 3M person, I am at awe. Do anybody know what the full form of 3M is? Anyone? The first M is a city. The second and third M are two verticals, industry verticals, right, ma'am? Right, but what do you know? Have you used any 3M products, anyone? Sorry? Tapes, yeah? And this is, okay, great. Yeah, but it's Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing. So learn technology from the best, right? So I'm at awe when I hear of that. And also, before that, the speaker, Sandhya ma'am, what she spoke about, so I'm going to be referencing both of them in a lot of what I'm going to be talking about. So before we do that, let's have a quick check, or let's do a fact check of, I'm here in a forum of finance people, right? So Gartner published a report recently, which said what Vidya ma'am spoke about, the RPA-driven process automation. It says here that most of you have either you're evaluating it or piloting it or already implemented. Most of you should have already implemented something in RPA. Am I right? Can I have a show of hands who all have implemented RPA in their organizations? Yeah, that's about right. So 45% have implemented, the rest I'm sure are piloting or evaluating, right? Second is the part where we're talking about routine business decision automation, right? So when there is a decision, that automation, it's gone out of the realm of RPA. It's in a realm called CPA, or cognitive process automation, where a decision has to be made by a machine, right? That's when it becomes automated. If a human is making it, it's no longer automated. So this is the part where companies like E42 come in, where we help organizations do that. And the next level to that is called the hyper automation, right? Which means that the smallest pieces of your business can get automated, right? So just to give you, again, I'll draw from Vidya ma'am's example, when she spoke about you automating your account payable, for example, right? So in that, there are several stages of that process, right? Or if you have to automate, let's say, a visitor entry into your premises, right? So there are several stages of that process. So there is a security. They have to recognize the person. If the person is coming for the first time, they have to ask him for some ID. Then you have to match that ID with that face. And then you have to see if there is an appointment. And if there is an appointment, you have to intimate the person with who that appointment is. You have to check for a nearby meeting room and get these two people into a room, right? So all these have got various hyper-automation stages in that. And all of this can be done on a cognitive process automation platform, right? So how many of you in your organizations are currently evaluating or pursuing such hyper-automation tools? Can we have a raise of hands? Nobody? Gartner says at least 15% should be already have implemented. So yeah, but we can catch up, no worries, right? So these are the processes that are the technology is available. We do it. Also, there are cognitive services from all the cloud providers today. You can do it from that also, and also you can, we just come with a platform that has all of these abilities. It's got its own Gen AI, it's got its own NLP engine, it's got its own, so you do not have to ping the cloud also. So we give a very secure kind of a platform. But point is, it's possible. Then there are, as we go deeper, there are various kinds of other activities when other processes or other nudges that the AI can give. So for example, when we do an account payable automation, some of our clients also wanted to do an account receivable automation, right? So where is the magic in that? For a large if you're large enough, if you're able to receive funds a little earlier and pay out a little later without meeting the SLA and not irritating your vendors, if you're able to do that, even one day brings savings or earnings rather, because then it becomes earnings, in the crores, right? So that's when CFOs today can actually, from a cost center, the whole finance department can actually become a profit center if you're able to just make sure that you're able to bring the money in a little earlier and give the money out at the right time as per the SLA, right? And it's all automated. And that's possible. Those are the kind of nudges, those are the kind of recommendations that an AI platform can give you. So where are we today? We already, in terms of technology, that was where we are as a group here. But in terms of technology, let's have a very quick look what is possible today, right? And I think it's already covered earlier on. There are innovative platforms like E42 that can do natural language processing, that comes inbuilt with AI capabilities. That is available on mobile, and of course machine learning was the previous genre. So this is already there. As we speak, with E42 itself, already we know that these are the areas where enterprises are using our platform and automating it. Today I will talk a little bit more on I will talk on account payable. I just to give you an idea, but the same automation completely is possible with accounts receivable as well. And then like Sandhya ma'am said today, it can do a close management all by itself, because when you're getting the money, so this is from a layman's perspective. I'm sure there's a lot of other deeper parts into it, but when when you're receiving it, when you're spending it, all those things, so you can close it. And some of our partners are doing a close within 5 days as we speak, right? So that's much easier. And then, yeah, this is another part, intercompany management. Like one of our customers in the US, it's one of the largest water distribution companies in the world, or water manufacturers, if I may. But yeah, so they acquire a lot of companies day in and day out. So they have about, I think, if I'm not mistaken, about 120 odd companies in their group. So for them, the platform was useful to help them manage, because all these companies have different ERPs. They are all on different systems, right? So, but if you want to know how you're doing as a group, I mean, it's a headache, right? But then if you have automated in those companies your other processes, and even if you're not automated, but even just because of the API connectors available on our platform, you will get a very good understanding and a very good idea of what's possible and where your group is going, right? So that's where we are at, and where are we headed to? We are seeing great steps. Again, we are a tech company. We don't know that much of finance, but this is from a finance perspective. Our partners like Finance Tech Unlimited, etc., building it where they are they're very close to automating the entire procure to pay, right, by using this. So which means that from when your business has a requirement to buy anything, then the design team builds the bill of materials. The AI will automatically find out, who are the right vendors based on all historic data, and it can ping those vendors automatically because it's got conversational AI, and ask them that if this was the order placed, when would we get it? Is this SLA going to be met? And all of those things. So, and then of course, when you pay out also, when the invoices come in, and it gets entirely read by the AI, it gets received by the AI, so there's no human opening up those emails, reading it up. It's the AI that reads it and then, makes the payment. So now let's come just to that part, the account payable part, because we don't have time. In this short time, I'd just like to say, all of these things. I'm not going to take much time. You know that how important it is, that you keep your vendors happy, because they will help you manufacture more, better, at the right time, right? So they are a very critical part of any industry, right? And how do you handle complex workflows? That again, I will just cover in a demo that will explain it much better. And today, like we said, most of you said that 45% of you said you're doing RPA, and we all understand the pain of RPA, right? We understand it's a brittle technology. Every time an invoice format changes or something, you need somebody else to build a template, and then you have to go around the whole thing all over again. And it cannot still converse with the vendors or partners or anything. So you're very limited. You're basically repurposing the workforce, to get people to design templates, rather than this. So, but still, it's a useful technology. It's like DVDs were, when, for those of you who remember the record players, or the cassettes, how wonderful a DVD was. It could store such a lot of music, right? So, of course, it was an intermediate technology, but now when Amazon Prime looks at DVDs, we don't know, right? Whether it's really that useful. So it was there. It was a technology that was there, and but now with the account payable executive that one of our partners has built on the E42 platform, they have done an end-to-end automation of that process. Right from when they onboard a vendor to they receive the invoice, validate the vendor, and all of those things. They build AI workflows. If it's AI, it's no risk. It's 100% compliant, right? Anything that it finds mismatch, any reconciliation not happening, it will escalate that to the human, and it will this, rather than the human himself having to do all of this themselves and then getting it validated later on, right? I won't take much time in this because I'm sure all of you know the account payable process much better than I do. So I'm talking that this whole process is today being automated without any human touch. For those that cannot see from this side, I just say it's the receiving of invoices via email, via hard copy, authentication, whether it is from the right vendor, right material that you've received, extraction of all the data from that, feeding it into the ERP or CRM, and then validating it, with two-way, three-way matches, whether it was really, if the amounts are right, if the materials was received, I'm sure you have the ASNs, GRN, and what have you, right? So all of those things, getting it approved, making the payment at the right time, not too early, pushing it into the right payment cycle so that it meets the SLA, and yet it's not like just because you process this in 1 second, all this happens within a second. So just because you process it within a second, don't mean you have to pay the next second. So you line it up for payment with the payment gateway. And of course, all these documents are pretty important, so you'll store it after all that is done. So I'll just show you how it is happening right now. So is there a fast forward on this? Can I? No? Okay. So it's playing here, right? Okay. So here is a normal, invoice. I'll quickly run through this. So this is how the invoice comes in, and if you see, the vendor is making the invoice, it's sending it to an inbox in your company, right? And as soon as that invoice is sent, so as soon as it's sent, in a few within 0 minutes, you get that, okay, this invoice has been processed, right? So now what happens is, so what happens if there are duplicate invoices? I can maybe share this presentation with you all. So then, here we have the video which shows what happens if there are duplicate invoices. What happens if in one email you have multiple invoices that are attached as a string? What happens if it is an invoice for a part of a PO, not for the entire PO, right? So all of those kind of variations, which I'm sure you all know, but what happens if someone scans the invoice upside down, right? This is all the reality of the situation, right? So in all of those cases, the AI will be able to read it. It will be able to, it will give you a visual kind of this also in the cases where there are doubts. So you can do all of that and you can see it. So I think, if you want, we have our stall outside. You can go there. There is also the complete video. I won't bore you with showing all of this here, but I'll just tell you that it is happening and it's real. And when Sandhya ma'am spoke about the first part where indifference, now we know that that is not an option for anybody in today's world, that you cannot be indifferent to what's happening in the technology space, because if you don't innovate and if you don't come out, we as a company, forget about individuals, can become redundant, right? So we have to innovate. The second part, what she said, is frustration. Can I do it? I'm a finance person. So we have, with E42, we have a no-code platform, which means you can do it. But then, of course, we also have partners and we have an whole ecosystem to help you get there. And you have an opportunity today to become the next stage where you can inspire your teams and tell them that it's possible, and that we can go ahead and automate all of this with zero risk, with 100% compliance, right? So that's the message I wanted to leave with you. And of course, I'm sure again you understand what happens, right? When an invoice is processed within 0 minutes, right? You get very high process efficiencies. You get huge productivity. Now, like we heard earlier today, your executives, your teams can look at other things that are really important, the strategic conversations that they spoke about, right? Because that's important. How can I make my vendors happier? Might be a good question to answer, right? How can I make, what are the other trends that are happening in the world around, outside in, we spoke about earlier, right? Because if you don't know those trends, so in fact they say nowadays, it's not SWOT that you need to do, it's SWT. It's your strength, your weakness, and the trends outside, right? There's no opportunity and threats anymore. So the new format is SWT. You need to know what are the trends outside, because if you miss that trend, right, forget about companies or enterprises, verticals are getting redundant, right? So we need to really be in the watch for that. So your teams can do that, and that'll change the game. Then I just take a minute to do some sort of sales pitch. So why E42? E42 is what is E42? It's a no-code platform on which you can build AI co-workers, right? So which means that you can build the AI AP executive, the AI AR executive, the AI customer care manager, the AI vendor manager, the AI IT support, anything, right? And all these are being built by large companies like Mahindra & Mahindra, Accenture. They use it to build a recruiter. So you can use it to build anything. But since you're finance people here, so these are the capabilities that's there inbuilt into the platform. So for example, when E42 is presented with a document, it reads it like you and I read it. Like, how do we read it? We don't read it like RPA, right? We say, oh, if it is here, then it is the name. If it is here, then this is the GST number. No, we read it like a human. If I was to show you something, wherever the name be, you come to know, okay, this is an invoice and this is from this, because you use something called visual cues. You don't use XY coordinates, right? So that's the way, those are the abilities. Then the interpreting and analyzing text. So we have our own Gen AI, our conversational AI engines that can help you with any kind of conversations, whether it be with vendors, employees, external teams, right? Yeah, and these are some of the case studies within the finance, or actually just the account payable, where we have worked with one of the largest Fortune companies in the US. That's an e-commerce company. Today we are also working with, as we speak, with about 3 or 4 of the top e-commerce companies in India as well. In manufacturing, for one of India's largest aluminum manufacturers, and a manufacturing company, which which second largest automobile manufacturer in India. Guess which. But yeah, so these are different enterprises that we work with. Apart from that, on the same platform, there are various other what we call cousin AI workers. So if you build an account payable executive, you later on can build an account AR executive. You can build an visitor management, goods entry into gates. Your gate management can be done with the AI, and all of these. The difference here is that all of these AI workers collaborate with each other. How do they collaborate? In AI, there is an aspect called entities, right? So if an entity is a vendor, for example, if it is an account payable process, there are two aspects. In the vendor onboarding also, you get to know about the vendor. In the vendor account payable also, you know about the vendor, right? When your invoices are getting blocked by your the people you supply to your customers, then also you get data about the vendor, right? You get me? So you know which vendors were used for which parts and which products came through that. So that all this enriches that entity that is called the vendor, right? So that's how so when you take a platform that's capable of all of these functions, that's verified, validated. We featured on Gartner, on IDC, partners with Microsoft, Oracle, all the cloud providers basically. So you can, and we can run on any cloud. It's all proprietary technology, which means that you don't have to even ping the cloud. It can run on-prem as well, right? So for you bankers here, that might be important. Yeah. So I'm done, and I'll take any questions. And if not, anyway, I will be around for a while, but my team is anyway here. We have a booth out there. So please, if you have questions, do come. Would love to help you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.